Me just feeling frustrated, I think, is begetting more frustration. A lot of the message was about my own thoughts. I mean, you could flip-flop it and the story would still make sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to my channel. Today is November 6th, which means it's the 6th day of NaNoWriMo. And just a little bit ago here, I broke 10,000 words. I am 1/5 of the way finished with my NaNoWriMo goal of 50,000 words. Boy, it's been a struggle to get those words, those 10,000 beautiful little words that maybe aren't that beautiful actually. They're words. They're letting me know the story so that when I go and do another draft of this novel eventually, I can pretty it up. But you can't edit a blank page, so I just keep that in the back of my mind as I write, because the pretty descriptions and things just aren't flowing for me right now, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because I've been editing non-stop since September 1st or what it is, but I can't really fully immerse myself in any one scene. And I think maybe it's just because I'm so used to the first book in this series that I keep already comparing what I'm writing to any given scene in the first book and being like, this is crap compared to what I already have. And I just need to be like, no, and remind myself that the first book is in the second draft. It's not this really loose, almost what I'd call at this point a zero draft status. It's way more polished than what I'm writing now, and there are bits and pieces that have been scenes stuck in my head for years that I'm starting to get to. That writing is actually sort of starting to flow, but I'm not even to the second act yet. Like I said, I don't know exactly where the story's beginning, and I'm trying, keyword trying, to write in as chronological order as I can manage, but because I don't know where this book starts and where the story starts, I do know what my inciting incident is, so I'm trying to keep that as that kind of pivot point. Like, does this go before the inciting incident or after the inciting incident? And that's kind of helped a little bit to figure out the order of things. And the problem is all of these things interweave and intertwine so much that they could almost go one before the other, or you could switch it around and that could come before the other thing, because it's just this chain of events that they're related but unrelated enough that whether this happens first or that happens first, I mean, you could flip-flop it and the story would still make sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. I've been very busy. I'll just kind of fill you in because I didn't film yesterday. I just wasn't feeling it. I barely got my word count yesterday. 1,160 words, which is quite a ways below that 1667 that you want to aim for every day to stay on par. That being said, I'm still above par. Not by much, but I'm above par right now by 45 words as of day 6, and I've only had one hour writing session today where I got 1,022 words. I had to leave and go pick Wrigley up from preschool here in a little bit after I eat lunch. Wrigley and I are gonna go hang out in the parking lot at the school and wait for Boston to get out. And that 40-minute to an hour window, I will be able to get more words in, and then anything that I don't make above par, I want to try. Okay, here's my thought. I want to stay enough above par that every time that it turns into the next day, I'm not automatically under par until writing that day.
I feel like this whole vlog, everything I've already said, is not making sense. Like, my thoughts are there and I'm trying to speak them out, but it's not coming out right. And thank you, Mercury retrograde. That's probably part of what's going on. And that ends November 20th, but then you have that kind of shadow period where it's stationary for a couple of days. So really, I'd say 90% of Nano is going to be in the shadow of this Mercury retrograde. So just maybe also keep that in mind. If you're one of those people out there like me that are struggling and feel like you're getting the words down, but they're not as quality as you'd like them to be, just remember, it's Mercury retrograde, and a lot of times when Mercury retrograde is over, it'll be like this veil has been lifted and you'll be able to see what wasn't making sense before, or better ways to improve it. If you're struggling, just keep that in mind and don't beat yourself up, because Mercury retrograde affects everybody. Because if you follow astrology at all, you'll know that Mercury represents your intellect, communication, things that you do with your hands, like hobbies and writing and building things. So those kinds of things, also travel and electronics, Mercury will rule that too. So those things tend to go a little loopy or haywire during Mercury retrograde. Not that they can't go loopy or haywire anyway, but during Mercury retrograde, it's like the chances of something going wrong, or you miscommunicating with someone, or communicating in a bad way and hurting someone's feelings, the chances of that go way, way up during Mercury retrograde.
I know I slapped myself earlier, but don't beat yourself up if things aren't happening for you the way you would like. I'm still very happy and excited and passionate about this book and everything that I'm going to be writing. I'm really, really excited to get to those major plot points in the second and third act, but I don't want to allow myself to jump ahead and write those, because I'll feel like I cheated myself out of the evolution of the story to get there. And I feel like if I can write this first act and into the second act and really feel confident about the order of things and the things that are happening, once I get to those big plot points in the second and third act, I'm gonna feel way more immersed in those scenes, knowing what's happened in this past part of the book. Where right now, I know all the major plot points except my beginning, still figuring that out. I know a lot of things that I want to happen, but some of the things, it's like one big revelation into the next, into the next, into the next, but I don't really have those little scenes that kind of bridge the gap and make you feel like you're not getting whiplash. Almost like each chapter would read as its own episode. I don't want it to feel so episodic. I want it to feel like each chapter makes sense and builds on the ones before it, and it flows to the next. And I know that doesn't always happen in the first draft. So again, I'm cutting myself some slack, and I'm just gonna try to get the words on the page, because that's the nice thing about going back and editing and the drafting process is I can scrap things that aren't making sense. But right now, when I'm trying to accumulate word count, I can't really be scrapping scenes because I need those words. When I was vlogging every day, the first couple of days of Nano, I already had like 40 to 50 minutes of footage in 2 days worth of time, and I'm just sitting here like my eyes are rolling back into my head like there's no way I'm gonna be able to get my word count, do the photo stuff that I need to do for my day job, do all the stuff the kids need, and like be a mom and get the words in, film for my other channel, and edit these really, really long writing vlogs down into 10-15 minute vlogs. It's just not something I have the time for. So I'm thinking I will just kind of vlog maybe every other day to just allow myself the time to really focus on the writing when I'm doing the writing. And then I can sit down with you and kind of update you on what happened, what my word count is, what all's going on. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take you along with me in the car and try to get the rest of my word count for today. So let's go get some writing done and get that word count to increase. All right, let's go.
I live my life on the run. I say I'm not giving up. I may be living alone, but I still believe in love.
So during day 4 of NaNoWriMo, I decided to pull a couple of cards just to figure out why I was having such a hard time getting into this story and focusing and getting into each scene. And as you can see here, a lot of the message was about my own thoughts. 3 of the 4 cards were talking about my own thoughts. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. I'm still waiting for that to happen. I also think it's funny with this Horus card, the Cosmic Gateway. Horus is that all-seeing eye. It's funny because Shane Dawson uses that for his conspiracy palette. And day 1 of Nano, I was all about, I need to get this palette. I just thought that was really funny that the synchronicity of that was not lost on me. Still unsure what it means for me and this story, but I'm paying attention to the signs. I hear you, universe. Now, what are you trying to tell me? And then I have my every thought is attracting its vibrational essence. So me just feeling frustrated, I think, is begetting more frustration. And then the recognize your first thought. It says here on the back, today's lesson, this is a day of intuitive practice where you acknowledge that your first thought is your best thought and usually corresponds to your clearest intuitive voice, your goal. Pay attention to your intuition. And my intuition is saying that as I write this book, more is going to become clear to me. So I need to stop trying to figure out every little scene in chronological order and just move on with it. I can always come back at any point, even during NaNoWriMo, and add a scene between two other scenes to bridge the gap. Examining unfinished business, I'm almost wondering if this isn't pointing back to book 1, those 3 scenes that I still have left to write in book 1, and if this isn't telling me, maybe you should go back and write those scenes right now during Nano. I mean, word count is word count. It's still going toward a project. They're new words that I don't have yet. So I might do that. I don't know. That's what this reminded me of, because there are 3 scenes that I don't have written yet in the first book. I mean, if that's not unfinished business, I don't know what is. And then on the back it says, identify one piece of unfinished business. This could relate to a person or a task. Then do one thing to bring it to closure. If you find you're unable to do so, you've identified a major power leak and a serious block to your healing. Your goal, to understand that all experiences either make you bitter or better. I think that is pointing to maybe finishing out those scenes and also not letting this fact that I don't know where all the pieces fit yet, not letting that make me bitter, but allow that to make me better by just acknowledging, yes, there's holes in my story. And it's okay, because the story is still evolving, and just because I know the major plot points that need to happen and the reasons these things need to happen doesn't mean I have all the little details figured out yet. And I think this is just saying, examine those and figure it out as I go. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now, if I hadn't mentioned yet, today is now November 9th. Let's hope not, because I need extra days, not to lose days. Today is November 7th, and my computer's downstairs, but some weird glitch happened on the NaNoWriMo website last night when I went to input my word count. I had 11,000 and some words. I'll put it here because I don't remember the exact number. But when I go on the website today, it said I had 12,000 some words, and I did not. When I went to go input my words for today that I had gotten so far, which I want to say is around 900 or so far today, when I went to update it, instead of saying 11,000, whatever this number is, it said 12,000 something. So I went through, and by that point I was nearing 12,000, but I put in the correct number for today, but something happened where it glitched out and applied a lot of that word count to yesterday. And I don't know, it's not like the old website where you can go in and change word counts day by day. So now it says I wrote way more words yesterday than I did, and that I wrote almost no words today. So my word count is still accurate as far as the actual word count goes, but the days in which I got those words is not right, and I don't know how to go fix it. So if any of you know how to fix that glitch or have had that happen to you, help. I mean, not that it's a huge deal, but as far as like the tracker and watching the graphs go up and stuff, I'd like to see an accurate representation of that and not some glitched out representation. If you know what that's about, let me know. But I'm gonna go hang out with the kids, get some dinner going here in a little while, and hopefully tonight. I have been dragging out this process of getting these photos edited for these photo sessions that I have. I have the viewing tomorrow, and I still have not made the slideshows. That just shows you how much I have drug this out. I've been worried about this since October, when the sessions took place, and I should have just edited all the photos in October and been done with it, and just maybe done those slideshows and all that in November sometime. But yeah, that's what procrastination gets you. More stress that you don't need when you don't need it. I'm hoping to get some words in tonight. Even though I got my daily word count number today, It says I still need a whole bunch of words because it applied it to yesterday's number, not today, but in my little note card that I have that's in my little outline note card box, it's accurate. So I'm gonna just keep that as my main tracker until I can figure out what went wrong on the Nano site. I don't know, but I will catch you up later.